Hello, Shariff here. And I want to talk to you today about Tilopa's 6 words of advice, and then something that I put together that I call the 9 couplets that's based on Tilopa's 6 words of advice. But before we get started, I want to share two things with you, something I've been working on, and then a little bit about Tilopa that I left out of the first recording of this. So here we go. First of all, I talked today about wisdom being intelligence about relationships. And almost all of my work has been focused on helping us to be more intelligent about each other and more intelligent about all of the other living beings that live on our planet and our planet herself. In thinking about this, I put together a book that I call Practicing Wisdom, and it's going to be available in mid-May 2022. You can go to the Commonway shop, commonway.org/shop, and pre-order the book if you wish, and I sincerely hope you do. So, the second thing before we get started is to tell you a little bit about Tilopa. I realized when I recorded this before, I talked about the 6 nails, but I didn't talk to you about the guy who talked about the 6 nails. So, who was Tilopa? He was an Indian guru, adept, master, teacher, born around 1200 years ago, lived in the Bengal area of India, and one of his claims to fame is being the teacher of Naropa. And Naropa was famous in his own right. And there's actually a Naropa University here in the United States that I had the pleasure of teaching at a few years ago. And but most famously, he's known for the 6 nails, or the 6 words of advice, that we'll get into shortly.
Hello, this is Shariff Abdullah, and I want to share with you something that I've developed very recently, and based on some ancient teaching. And what I developed is what I'm calling my 9 couplets. It's based on work by Tilopa, his 6 words of advice. It's also referred to as the 6 nails. So Tilopa developed his 6 words of advice from the in order to teach meditation to his students. And he had some pretty famous students, including Naropa. Some of you may know that name. I recently was ill with a recurring malady I have called a vestibular migraine. It's a migraine that's in your ears, not in your head, so I don't get any headaches, but I get debilitating dizziness. In many cases, I can't move. So I just finished spending 100 hours staring at my ceiling, not able to do much other than think. And my thinking started with Tilopa's 6 words of advice, and from that developed another branch of thinking. And I'd like to share that all with you very quickly so that you can, I think I got some benefit from being bedridden for a week, and I would like to share that with you. So Tilopa's 6 words of advice for those who are meditating and for those who just want to learn to live their lives more meaningfully and mindfully. His 6 words of advice are, don't recall. And what he means by that is let go of things that have already occurred, the past. The second of his 6 words is don't imagine. And what this means is let go of what may come, let go of the future. Then the third of the 6 words is don't think. And what he means again by that is let go of what's happening right now. So you're seeing from the first 3 of these 6 words is that you let go of the past, you let go of the future, and you let go of your present. Now, for those of you who meditate, you know that covers almost all of the things that keep you away from a meditative state. Thinking about stuff that's happened, thinking about something that may happen, thinking about what's going on right now. The next of the 6 words is don't examine. And what he means by that is don't try to figure things out. And that's my big downfall. Don't control. What he means by that is don't try to make things happen. And the last one is relax. And relax just means relax. So those are the 6 words. And I started out trying to think about what would I add to those 6 words from my experience. And then I went into a slightly different direction, and now I think you'll see what I mean from this different direction. So my 9 couplets, and by couplets I know that this is not like literary thinking, but these are combined statements. The first is don't look, and the opposite of that, the statement that is coupled to that. So that's the negative side of the statement. The positive is what my eyes see is not necessarily what's actually happening. And I don't know if you've had this as an experience, but I have it as an experience a lot. My sight, what I think is actually happening, is driven by my emotions, especially if I have any negative emotions like jealousy, lust, anger, fear, that all those things can color what I'm actually seeing. The second of the 9 couplets is don't doubt. And its polar opposite is I believe. Now, doubt and belief are both statements about belief. Doubting is believing something that's going to happen that is negative. I doubt I'm going to get the raise. I doubt I'm going to get a decent relationship. I doubt I'm going to get such and such. These are all statements of belief. When I turn that into a positive belief, then I'm moving into a different space and a different way of looking at the world. And that different way of looking at the world helps bring that world about. Don't attach. And this is from lots and lots of ancient wisdom about being attached. And the opposite is I release. I let go of things. So you can possess things lightly without being emotionally attached or even physically attached to them. My analogy is you take an object, take your smartphone or take a cup or whatever, and just rest it in the palm of your hand. It's sitting there. You have it, but you're not connecting to it. You're not clinging to it. You're not grasping it. If you turned your hand, it would fall off. So you can release things, including releasing your children, releasing your parents, releasing your relationship, releasing all of the things that we tend to attach to. The next couplet is don't fear or worry. And what I was realizing, I was laying on my back, is this is the same thing. Fear is a flavor of worry. Worry is a flavor of fear. And so to both of these, I love. And love is the antidote, the antipod, the opposite energy from fear. And I can love my way through my fear. And needless to say, there's an awful lot more to say about that, but we are going to move right on. The next one is don't need. And the balance to that is I ask and I choose. And this is something that, again, there's an awful lot to be said about. That the idea of needing something holds back your manifestation. If you simply ask or recognize that you've got a choice in front of you and make the right choice, then you're going to see things very, very differently. Don't speculate or fantasize. I spend an awful lot of time playing what-if games in my head. This is not this is not healthy. It's not like I'm envisioning something. It's that my brain is going around in circles around speculations. The opposite of that is I know. I know what is true for me. I know what is real for me. And I sit and I rest in my knowing. The next one is don't frustrate. That includes I am not going to frustrate myself. I am not going to frustrate others. And then I will not allow others to frustrate me. So that's a lot to be unpacked right there. The balance to that is I fulfill. I am fulfilled. I fulfill others. I allow others to fulfill me. Now, another way of using that word is to say I'm happy. But I tend not to use happy as a term because many people confuse happiness with being entertained, that your brain is being stimulated in a positive way and therefore I'm happy. And that's not what I believe that happiness, that what this level of happiness and fulfillment means. And at some point in time, we'll talk more about that. The next is don't abandon. And that means don't abandon yourself. Don't be abandoned by others. Don't abandon others. And the balance to that is I am in grace. And when you think of the term grace and take it out of its religious context and take it into a spiritual context, that can be very, very powerful. Just knowing that at all times you are in a positive state, and there's positive that you can see in that state. Then the last is don't anger, hate, and judge. You are not angry at others. You are not hating others, and you are not judging others. You are not allowing others to be angry at you. You're not absorbing their anger. You're not absorbing their hatred. You're not absorbing their judgment. I guess my analogy right there would be when I drive my car through the car wash. There's all these machines that are slapping all the dirt off my car, and there's power jets, and everything is soapy and wet, etc. And I am sitting there dry because I'm not absorbing any of it. And the opposite, or I should say the balancing to that, is forgiveness. I forgive. I forgive I forgive myself. I forgive others. I am forgiven. I receive forgiveness. This is so powerful. I'm not going to even bother trying to explain that in only a few minutes. So this has been a few minutes I wanted to share this with you, to walk you through this very carefully and slowly. What my intention is to take each of these couplets and really unpack it, to start looking at how this has impacted our stories of how we see the world, of what we believe is possible, what we see as being, see our reality, how we use these things to either put blinders over our eyes or to actually create supervision for ourselves.
So that's it. Not very long. It takes a couple of minutes to say it and a lifetime to master it. I do intend to do these as a workshop in the near future, or webinar in the near future. If you'd like to be advised of when, where, and how that starts, you can subscribe to our Commonway newsletter. Go to commonway.org, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and subscribe. And you'll get notifications when, where, and how that gets started. Whether you do or not, thank you for paying attention, and I wish you well. Thank you. Bye.